Well done, lads. You did well with the Summers case. But we have a problem. The examiner received a new letter today.
Do you mind if I take a look, Ray?
Go right ahead. They've both been rinsed in gasoline like the previous letters, so I can't lift a print.
It all comes down to this. Let's take a look at the letter to the right.
No one else but the killer knew about this message.
Cunt BD, find me where I hide myself. Let's put it down. Let's take a look at this red book.
To suffer woes which hope thinks infinite, to forgive wrongs darker than death or night.
To suffer woes which hope thinks infinite, to forgive wrongs darker than death or night, to defy power which seems omnipotent, to love and bear, to hope till hope creates from its own wreck the thing it contemplates, neither to change nor falter nor repent. This, like thy glory, Titan is to be good, great and joyous, beautiful and free. This is alone life, joy, empire, and victory. Now let's look at the new Shelley stanza. I think it's called stanza.
Another snippet from the Shelley poem.
Looking in wonder up to heaven, while yet the music pealed along, I hide myself within a fountain in the public square, where I lay like the reflex of the moon, seen in a wave under green leaves.
If the note is from the Dahlia maniac, he definitely also killed Teresa Terrellson.
Mal and I agree.
But where does that leave us? If this is the Dahlia killer, and he is responsible for the Tarrelson murder, not to mention the Muller
Hang
case.
on a moment, Skipper.
Let me finish, Rusty. We have 5 birds in hand and none in the bush. The department will not survive a scandal if we have to let them all go without catching a fiend first. Your careers will be over for a start, gentlemen.
Looking in wonder.
Ah, fuck it.
While yet
I
the
knew this
music
run was too
pealed
good to be
along,
true.
I hid myself within a fountain in the public square.
You like that stuff? What is it supposed to mean?
It's supposed to... Forget what it's supposed to... What does he want it
Where are
to...
you going with this, Cole?
He's obviously taunting us. He believes he's far more intelligent than we are.
Okay, it's some kind of story, right? A guy that God hates, chains him up.
It's an allegory, Rusty.
A what?
Story with 2 meanings. A symbolic meaning. But that's what he wants us to think.
Could he be using it literally? Within a fountain in a public square? Could it be that easy?
Can somebody tell me what the fuck is going on?
The fountain in Pershing Square. Come on, we have a clue. Captain, thanks, Ray.
Be careful, Phelps. This is his game you're playing now.
Now let's head upstairs and head to the public fountain.
All those cases, Rusty. What have I been telling you all along?
We've got to get this guy.
I know. Enough women have died.
Yeah, and it's our asses on the line too, Phelps. You heard what the captain said. The department is not going to take responsibility for all those bad convictions.
Success is a double-edged sword.
Let's just get this sick pervert and have it done with.
So Rusty doesn't really care that we caught the wrong men for these murders. He cares that his career could be over. He doesn't even care that if we don't catch this murder, that more women will die. And that's just Rusty for you. But we arrive at the public square.
Rather you than me, Phelps.
Let's look to the right.
You know the local hobos use that as a latrine.
That's so helpful, Rusty. That's just so helpful. But let's look to the right and look at this little card.
Elizabeth Short. Betty Short. Black Dahlia.
Remember, Elizabeth Short is the real-world murder victim of the Black Dahlia. This is a fake social security number for her. Let's put it down and look to the left.
There is a cave, all overgrown with trailing odorous plants which curtain out the day. Where next?
There is a cave all overgrown with trailing odorous plants, which curtain out the day with leaves and flowers, and paved with veins and mold, and a fountain leaps in the midst with an awakening sound. From its curved roof, the mountains frozen tears, like snow or silver or long diamond spears, hang downward, raining forth a doubtful light.
Elizabeth Short's social security card.
Jesus Christ!
That's not all. There's another stanza from Shelley.
Can you work it out?
So now is when we
Got a
have
city map? See if you can work out where he's taking us. I don't like this freak leading us around by the nose.
So this is when we have to use the endgame map to figure out where the killer is leading us. And here we have it, the Hall of Records. If we call back to the poem, from its curved roof, the mountains frozen tears, like snow or silver or long diamond spears, hang downward, raining forth a doubtful light. The chandelier is where the killer is leading us to.
Him. It's really him, the fuck who killed the Dahlia. Can you believe this? He's leading us.
It's his game, Rusty. You may want someone to catch him, but he's extremely dangerous. I doubt if he will give up easily.
Suits me down to the fucking ground. We clip this fuck and we get citations. What a day to be a cop. That pencil-pushing Parker won't be able to shove me aside after this.
Any Century unit, possible 415 at Olvera Street Plaza.
And Rusty is more enthused by getting a citation than actually making the streets of LA safer. That's Rusty for you. And we make it to the Hall of Records.
Can I help you, sir?
Detectives, LAPD. This is very important, sir. How do we get to the top of the chandelier?
You what?
Have a little faith, pal. We're in a real hurry.
Head up to the top floor. There's an access panel and a ladder in the maintenance room.
Let's head up these stairs. And that's the land registry office. But if we take this right, wait, nope. Wait, I think we do take, nope, we'll follow Rusty. And we take this, this left, and go up the ladder. We make it to the service entrance. Oh my god, we're tight roping.
I'm going out there, Rusty.
Nope. And if we fall too many times, we will actually fall to our deaths. So let's try to keep this balanced. And right here on the chandelier. Wait, how would this killer get on the chandelier and nobody notice? Okay, but on the chandelier, we find a watch.
Deirdre Muller's missing watch.
And it goes all the way back to the second murder case that we ever solved on the homicide desk. And to the left is another poem by Shelley, or Shelby.
From the temples high of man's ear and eye, roofed over sculptures and poesy. Where have I seen that?
From the temples high. Oh my god! We didn't even get time to fully read that.
Jesus Christ, hold it off that goddamn thing.
Find a rope, Rusty!
There isn't time. See if you can swing that thing from side to side. Get it over the edge, then jump for it.
And we rock back and forth so Cole can jump off. And just in the nick of time, we make it to safety.
That was too close.
Yeah, well, the higher you climb, the further you fall.
Let's get out of here.
Another Dahlia clue?
No, a yellow gold wristwatch.
A Molder dame.
Yes, and a scrap of the poem.
Another location.
If I can work it out.
Let's see if we can read the third excerpt. Okay. From the temples high of man's ear and eye, roofed over sculpture and poesy, from the murmurings of the unsealed springs, where science bedews his... Ooh, this is a smart word. Winks. I'm not even gonna try. Let's head back to our map and see if we can figure out where the killer is taking us next. And here it is, LA Public Library. If we look at the description, it's just like the poem. The building is roofed over the mosaic pyramid, and a sculpture torch-bearing hand stands at the apex, representing the scientific light of learning. And we make it to the library, but we're not going inside.
I'm pulling rank here, Cole. I'm not hauling myself up there.
But we're
Go
not
get
going.
him, Tiger.
But we're not going inside.
Slow me down anyway, old timer.
But we're not going inside. We're going up this drain pipe. I'm gonna hop over. And here's some more scaffolding. We'll have to balance again. And I just suck at balancing, but we're up this drain pipe again. And while we're taking our time to climb, this case freaked me the absolute heck out. And now we're gonna have to do some hurdling and jump over gaps. And we're up another ladder. And we're gonna have to balance another beam. And it's a far fall. Okay. You stay.
Sometimes a step backwards is a step in the right direction.
Ooh. Okay, I did not mean to do that. We're up these stairs. Well, and now we are up on the rooftop. Let's head around till we find something. And here it is. Let's bend down and look. Let's look to the left, and we see a religious medallion.
Our Lady of Guadalupe, ripped from Antonia's necklace.
And this is just horrible. Every case that we supposedly solved is turning out that we arrested the wrong men. But let's look to the right and read the next poem.
Round which death laughed, sepulchred emblems of dead destruction, ruin within ruin. So this is a treasure hunt.
Round which death laughed, speckled emblems of dead destruction, ruin within ruin, the wrecks beside of many a city vast, whose population which the earth grew over was mortal, but not human. See, they lie, their monstrous works and uncouth skeletons, their statues, homes, and fanes, prodigious shapes, huddled in gray alienation, split, jammed in the hard, black, deep.
What is it this time?
The religious medal from the Maldonado case.
The Dahlia, Moeller, Maldonado. When this gets out,
We still have to find the guy, Rusty.
another poem. Well, you must have some idea, right? Come on, Phelps. We're on a roll here. Don't let me down.
Let's head to the map and look. And here it is. Westlake Tar Pits. By 1901, specimens were emerging, including the skeleton of a human female in 1914. Trauma to her skull suggests that she may have been LA's first recorded homicide. Here lies the monstrous specimen.
KTI Radio presents National News from Washington.
Boxing's on the card at St. Helena's Gym in the Bronx tonight. Golden Gloves Boxing. First round bouts in the sub-novice lightweight class, and it's strictly standing room only.
We're gonna catch hell for this. Banging up innocent men.
The newspapers will crucify the guy. They won't have time to wonder about our mistakes. We'll be okay, Rusty, as long as we catch the guy.
I hope you're right, Cole. We'll be famous if we make this case.
What makes them think that the men that they falsely accused and arrested for murder aren't going to make a ruckus, suing the LAPD? I think they're underestimating the gravity of their mistakes, because the history books aren't just going to remember the guy who did it. They're going to remember the police officers who went through numerous suspects and wrongfully accused different men, ruined their lives, ruined their businesses. But we arrived at the tar pits.
These are my best shoes, Phelps. I'll leave you to it.
It seems like you're leaving everything to me.
Very funny.
Before we step into the tar pits, right ahead is our destination, where we need to get. But there are so many different paths to take. Let's step on.
Whoa! Get a move on, Cole. Those boards are sinking. You want to end up like the other fossils? The gangway snakes around, Phelps. Can you see it through the tar?
Easy.
How you doing out there?
I'd be doing better if you were the one trying to get across this thing. Steady.
We're so close, but yet so far.
You don't want to fall in now, Phelps.
That's at the forefront of my thinking.
And we make it in one piece. Underneath this tree, we see a shoe and another poem. This is from the White Shoe Slaying, Teresa Tarleton. We'll pick up the shoe first.
One of Teresa Tarleton's shoes.
Let's put the shoe down and read the poem.
A sphere which is as many thousand spheres. Okay, where to now?
And from the other opening in the wood rushes with loud and whirlwind harmony a spear which is as many thousand spears, solid as crystal, yet through all its mass flow as through empty space, music and light.
What is it?
An open-toed white shoe, and another stanza from the poem.
Oh, I really thought that hobo bum did the Tarleton broad.
Confessions from the insane aren't the most credible evidence, Rusty.
Is this thing over?
It's all part of his power over us, making us run round all over the city for the crumbs he's leaving us.
So if we keep this up, we can find the guy?
So you telling me that we could have just rode over there? Rusty could have finally done something and rode us over to the island? You know what? Count your days. Count your days, Rusty. Count your days, Cole. Because ain't no way. Let's head to the map and figure out where we're going next. Because ain't no way. And our next spot is somewhere close. The LA County Art Museum. And in the picture, we see a spear. A spear within many spears.
Intermission into an interesting situation.
Well, this guy looks out for women in bars who've had too much to drink.
who are emotionally disturbed.
Need a shoulder to cry on, he plies them with booze.
Probably offers them a lift home.
Then beats their brains out and strangles them. Could be any schmo hanging out in a bar.
No, not anyone. He displays the bodies, leaves us messages. For all the violence, it's very controlled behavior.
Natural source of vitamins. Physician studies show 3 out of 4 women lack sufficient iron. If you are losing weight,
Yo, I don't like when they start playing that music. Because what are we gonna find in here? Why are you playing this music? What are we gonna find? This way to the maze. You know
On
what?
it goes. When do you think we'll reach the end of this thing?
The center of the proverbial labyrinth? How long is a piece of string? How many unsolved murders have we got in this city?
How many solved ones?
Oh, now you're getting it, Rusty. Sorry. I'm just... Okay, we're following this crazed killer's, like,
movie producer.
crumbles.
About time some of those movie people went to jail.
We're following this guy's trail. So what makes you think that he's not waiting for us at one of these spots? Not secretly, like, watching. Sitting on a bench watching. Cole is going through this stuff alone. Rusty is waiting. So what happens if this guy decides, oh, why are you standing like that? What you standing like that for? So now...
You ever been in here, Galloway?
No. I have no intention of going in. I heard that thing's tricky. I'm gonna wait here and have a quiet smoke. Think about hidden meetings.
And so we go in alone, once again. So what makes, like, us think that he's not waiting? Try and take out a detective. But we hear the spear moving. All we gotta do is follow the sound of the spear. We'll take this right, and leads to another right. We'll take a left, and we can only take another left. And here we hear it again. Let's take this right. We'll take this left, because then we can continue to hear. We'll go straight. We'll take another right. And we are here. Let's look closer. And to the right is a ruby ring.
Once belonging to Celine Axford Henry.
This goes back to the very beginning. We almost made her husband for this murder. And then magically, at our last spot, with our last suspect, we find a box full of evidence next to an open window. Let's put the ring down and look at the poem.
Thrones, altars, judgment seats, and prisons. No, it couldn't be.
And Cole seems like he knows where we're going next, but let's read the poem. Thrones, altars, judgment seats, and prisons were in and besides which by wretched men were born specters, tiaras, Scepters, tiaras, swords, and chains, and tomes of reasoned wrong. Closed. Glazed? Okay, I can't. Glazed on by ignorance. Closed on by ignorance. Where like those monstrous and barbaric shapes, the ghost of a no more remembered fame, which from their unworn obelisk, look for it. I'll put the poem down, and we'll back away from the spear, and we fade to black.
See? That was easy.
I found Celine Henry's ring.
How far does this thing go? How did we not catch this nut job?
Oh, I don't know, Rusty. Trying to get quick convictions? Not thinking for 1 second that maybe we shouldn't trust a box of evidence in a man's apartment next to an open window. We should have found that a little bit weird. We should have found that these men having evidence that puts them at the scene of a crime, murdering these women, would just be open in plain sight. But no, the captain, Rusty, wanted quick convictions. Now let's look at the map. So Cole knew the place. Let's look at these landmarks and see if we ever been to one of these places before. No, we have. The Intolerance set, where we caught Mark Bishop after he sexually assaulted, drugged Jessica Hamilton and June Ballard and tried to kill them. But here it is. If we read the description, more than 3,000 extras paraded past the altar and thrown beneath 8 giant plaster elephants. This is where we're going next.
He's leaving us this trail of evidence. Why?
Vanity. He wants to see if there's anyone out there smart enough to catch him.
He leaves us evidence, but every location is a trap.
He's testing us, physically and mentally, to see whether we are worthy of him.
The Titan guy. You have the stoush with God.
Very good. You thinking about reading some Shelley?
All that egghead stuff? I'm sticking to the funny papers and the form guide. You sleep better at night. There's the throne up there. Now it's just a matter of getting to it.
And the game is telling us where to go. We'll follow the light. We'll head up the stairs. Let's jump.
Jesus, now look what you did. Hang on, Cole. I'll get you off of there.
We gotta keep this thing from tipping too far to the left, too far to the right, too far in front of us, too far in back of us.
You gotta make it to the next platform. Get that thing as close as you can, then jump.
How many times does that make that we almost died pursuing this trail? Let's head down this ladder. here is another ring.
Typewriter ring. Evelyn Summers.
The last case. Now let's read the poem.
Place he calls home. End of the line.
Remit the anguish of that lighted stare. Close those wan lips. Let that thorn-wounded brow stream not with blood. It mingles with thy tears. Fix those tortured orbs in peace and death. So thy sick throes shake not that crucifix. So those pale fingers play not with thy gore. O horrible, thy name I will not speak. It hath become a curse. I see the wise, the mild, the lofty, and the just, whom thy slaves hate for being like to thee. Some hunted by foul lies from their heart's home, an early chosen, late laminate home. We'll put it down. And again, we're almost dying. It's collapsing around us, so we have to run.
No, 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 no! Come on! Ah, no!
I thought the whole thing was gonna come crashing down on him.
I thought so too. He murdered Evelyn Summers, Rusty. The last trophy was her ring.
Did you find another piece of the poem?
Yes. The last piece.
You sure, Cole?
Let's find out.
Let's head to the map. That poem mentioned crucifix. It almost had the tone of a sermon that you will hear in a church. And here it is, Christ's crown of thorns. If we look at the last sentence, a work of lead light rises above the abandoned altar, depicting the crucifixion and a weeping virgin. This is it. This is our last stop.
You might see this as a cry for help.
For God's sake, Phelps. I'm not trying to justify this.
Hear me out, Rusty. This guy has been successfully slaughtering women in this town for half a year, maybe longer. He researches who he kills, and then plants evidence so that we always have someone to go after. If he hadn't sent the letters in the poem, he could have gone on forever. We would have been none the wiser. We would have 4 executed men on our conscience and have been happy about it. Why else is he doing this?
You're the new face of the department, Phelps. A modern cop who tries to understand why the perp does what he does. Me? I just drop the hammer down on the low lives. Front a roach under your heel, you don't worry about what it's feeling, you just grind it with it.
We arrive at the abandoned church. This is the last stand. Either we catch the guy here, or he vanishes into the night. We walk up these stairs and brace for ourselves for what's about to happen.
Reminds me of my days as an altar boy.
There's a light coming from the house.
Nothing hasty, gentlemen. Keep your hands where I can see them, or I'll be forced to redecorate the stucco with your entrails.
We're from the LAPD, sir. I'm gonna tell you only once to lower your weapon.
The LAPD, you say? Is it really possible you could have found me after all this time? How interesting.
Put down the gun, shitbird. Last warning.
This boorish ignoramus could never have found me. It was you, wasn't it? Do you remember me, detective?
The temp bartender.
Yes, you found me. You know what I'm capable of, and yet you walk in here like lambs dressed for the slaughter.
We'll see about that. Where did he go?
Down the tunnel?
You can't let the son of a bitch get away.
The house, Rusty. There must be another entrance into the house.
Let's rush over to the house.
LAPD, give yourself up.
And this is where he lives. In squalor. No electricity, just candles and a fireplace. And here is where he's been writing the letters to the police department and the examiner. And this is where he sleeps. And the floors are bloody.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
As we look at where he has killed these women.
You realize this must have been the place, Rusty.
And all over the walls are medical illustrations. Here are chains screwed to the wall. And here's the bloody tire iron.
If we could bring him in alive, there's enough physical evidence for an airtight case.
You heard him, Cole. He's fucking nuts. What are the chances of hauling him out of here alive?
And I agree with Rusty. He's not coming with us alive.
We're going down there?
I'll go. Call for backup and keep an eye out above ground and see where this thing comes out. Don't let me down, Rusty.
And we must go below. To find this maniac.
Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist.
You're an interesting man, detective. Why the police force? You're obviously overqualified.
We have to wait until we hear footprints walk away. Because if we don't, he's waiting for us to shoot.
Surrender now, or I will use deadly force.
There he goes.
Do I get a sense you're looking for personal redemption? Do you think we have something in common?
This thing has come to an end. You know that.
We had to stay behind these walls, or else we'll be shot.
Are you acquainted with slaughter? Does it attract you? Have you felt the fear? Understood the power?
You're exactly what I expected. We were looking for a low achiever.
Are you comfortable out of the light, officer? Are you comfortable?
Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist. Surrender now, or I will use deadly force.
And we almost got him. But now we have to wait. Because if we go up this ladder too soon after Mason, he will be waiting for us with his shotgun.
This thing has come to an end. You know that.
But if we wait too long, he'll vanish. We'll have to take a risk. And here he is. And he is gone.
Where's the press, Cap? I think Phelps and I should get a medal for this. This has got to be the case of the year, right? The case of the century when you think about it.
Are you finished?
Yes, Skipper.
Good. Because there won't be any press briefings or commendations.
What are you talking about? We got the werewolf, the guy who killed the Dahlia, killed all the other broads.
You got no one. Mason was a ghost.
Can you at least tell us why, Captain?
Mason is the half-brother of one of the most highly elected officials in this country.
How high?
Beyond the moon for mere mortals like us, Rusty. There'll be no more mention of him. The city owes you both, but there'll be no mileage in ever bringing this up again.
What's going to happen to the suspects in the cases, Captain? I won't be a part of that.
A bit of missing evidence at the grand jury. A procedural error here, a mistake there. They'll all be quietly let go. The DA knows how we'll have to play it.
That's it?
I'm afraid it is. And I have some news for you, Phelps. No more rooting around in the entrails of cadavers and corpses for you. The head of Vice has asked the chief for you. I'm reluctant to see you go to the glory boys of Ad Vice, but my hands are tied. Go home to that lovely wife of yours. Celebrate your promotion.
case notes read, "The case of the Black Dahlia remains open. The truth lost to all but a handful of men." It's been a long road, this homicide desk. Working cases, something not seeming right. The dots not connecting. All for our suspicions to be proven right. One man took so many lives and ruined so many innocent lives. Deirdre Muller's daughter will never have her mother back. Celine Henry's husband will always live with the guilt that he did not come and pick up his wife. Evelyn Summers leaves behind an elderly mother who was desperately trying to get her help, and who will never know that Evelyn Summers held that letter in her purse and will forever wonder what would have happened to her daughter if she had came home when she first received the letter. Antonia Maldonado, a woman who was about to gain her freedom and strength back from an abusive husband, will never have the chance to live a life where she is free and independent, and maybe where she could have found another love, a renewed love in religion, or another suitor. So many lives ended early because a sick, perverse maniac decided to brutalize and murder innocent women. Let's think about Mason Garrett. We saw him during the first homicide case we ever worked. He so quickly knew who we were talking about, Celine Henry. And now we know where that picket fence that we found outside of Antonia's room was from. It was from the church's fence. The man ruined so many lives. And for what? We'll never know. These families will never have the closure they need by putting a face to the killer of their family members. Instead, the men who were accused will always have suspicion surrounding them, whether they did it or didn't do it. They won't have normal lives. Their picture, their faces, their names have been dragged through the mud in newspapers. Their notoriety forever stained onto them. And what do these men come out to? They lost their apartments or houses probably. They had to deal with months of prison. They probably lost their jobs. Could they just easily get their jobs back? Or would they have to hunt for new jobs? But would you hire back a man who was accused of murder or convicted of murder but was only released on a technicality? These men will never have their names cleared. And what? Because Mason Garrett was the stepbrother, the half-brother of a powerful man? That's just not right. Leave so many lives ruined to protect one powerful man's reputation. I don't like the captain, and I don't like Rusty. I happen to agree with Mason. Rusty could have never followed this trail, figure out where to go next. It was all Cole. Mason was never planning on being arrested. He had a shotgun, and he knew what awaited him if he let them take him into custody. A coward. A coward to leave so many breadcrumbs, but not want to be caught. A coward to do something so horrible and bold as murder women and leave them on display, but didn't want his name, didn't want his face on a newspaper. The homicide desk really makes me angry. So much hurt, so much damage caused because one man decided to play judge, jury, and executioner and killed innocent women, stalked them, then killed them. And then, if the captain, if the department, if the DA just looked at the clues hard enough, had a little bit of suspicion on how their detectives happened upon the clues, these men wouldn't have been arrested, wouldn't have been sent to trial, wouldn't have been in jail for how many months. But Cole is promoted to the vice desk, and while people around the station wish to make homicide, the vice desk is where it's at. We're no longer in Central Station. We're heading over to Hollywood Police Station. And now we're going to rub shoulders with the rich, depraved, and some of the most influential people in LA. Will Cole be able to handle this desk? Will Cole be able to handle his new partner? We'll just have to play more of LA Noire. But if you want my theory on how Mason Garrett committed all these crimes and framed these innocent men this week, I will be releasing my video on my theory. If that sounds interesting to you, hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell because it's coming real soon. Now, it is time to say goodbye. Please like, subscribe, please subscribe. Please subscribe and comment, share, turn on the notification bell because I would not be doing this if it wasn't for you. I need to know what you liked, what you didn't. And it's so fun doing these videos. Actually, this video, it wasn't so fun because I am so scared of this case. It's so eerie. It's so, like, it leaves goosebumps across, like, my skin, like, the back, like, my hair, like, stands up. It creeps me out. Being in that dark tunnel with Mason Garrett creeps me the hell out. Especially when he's talking and it's like he has some, like he's been stalking Cole. It's so creepy. But that is it for me, and I would like to leave you off with some words. I hope during your day, whenever you're watching this, that you are brought light, luck, love, and positivity. Because you being here, you watching this video, you getting this far into the video has brought luck, light, love, and positivity into my life. And I don't think you know how grateful I am for you to be here. So I thank you for just clicking on this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!